Okay, I'm back. So I'm just going to be back just to help others define what exactly love means to them, because so many times, like I said, the lines get blurred, especially in Black culture and in our homes, in our home lives as well. So, defining what love means to you is probably the longest and the hardest description, just because we see so many examples of love that we mistake for a high vibrational love. So, what we really observe is someone who is passionate and who is caring, but might not represent the type of love that we want and we crave and we desire and we know is possible out there in the world. So when I define love for myself, I look back at my old relationships and I realized just exactly how much unloving behavior I was accepting, especially dealing with men from my past, because I was accepting people who did not show any genuine interest in caring for me, any genuine interest in being a nurturing person, and no interest in giving me the high vibrational love that I know that I require and I know that I want. But because the lines of love were so blurry, because we had, good days, but the abuse was still ever so present, it just kept creeping in. And it's something that I endured as a child and growing up, going through high school and everything. I just thought that's what love was. That was my definition of love. My definition of love was coexisting with abuse. And I was wondering why I was so unhappy and I was so just getting these feelings of unwantedness and things like that. And it was because I was getting the love that I did not want, a type of love that did not define who I was inside and who my soul was. So in accepting these behaviors and accepting these people just simply because of not wanting to be alone and wanting someone by my side, it caused me to continue to blur the lines of love in friendships and relationships as well. So with that line being blurred and not defining what love is for you, it allows people to make your definition for you. So in a sense, you are wanting high vibrational love. You want love that is nurturing all the time, that is caring, that is healing, that is growing. But someone offers you something that is similar to that, but they also are verbally attacking. They're sneaking around. They're not giving you that full essence of what you require, but they're telling you that they love you. They're telling you this is how they express their love, and you're just accepting it as for what it is. Because you did not define exactly and fully what love is for you, it allowed them to define it for you, to finish the definition. So when you are trying to define what love is, one thing you have to do is really sit with yourself and sit and understand that what we endured as children and teenagers shapes who we are right now, shapes our reality, and shapes who we become as adults, and who we and the ideas that we put onto our children as well. So when we are trying to define what love is, we have to remember what it felt like to be loved. So a lot of people go to like their happy moments in childhood where things were happy, the day was just a perfect day, and that's exactly what that energy that you have to call back to you. Because when you don't call back the high vibration, the positive energy, the prosperous days, we allow the abuse to creep in. So my definition of love is a love that is full of life, a love that is full of happy days, no pain. And if it ever gets to that point where my partner or anyone that I'm trying to create a life with starts to receive that or starts to give it to me, I know that that behavior is not love, and that's when we have to sit and check the situation and figure out why the energy changed. Because one thing that we have to realize is that We wear our insecurities on our face and we wear them on our bodies. We wear them on our Facebook posts. We wear them everywhere. So narcissists are waiting for a chance to find someone to stick to. So when we define what love is for ourselves, and we accept nothing less, it's harder for a narcissist to try and infiltrate your mind and try to pacify you into thinking that their ideas of love is what you should accept as love. So with my situation, I was being verbally and physically abused, and I accepted it as love because he told me that I was the reason why he was abusing me. So it not only added shame and guilt to my life and to how I felt about myself, but it allowed him to control what love was for me. So in that, and in turn trying to understand that love is nurturing all the time, it took me a long time to realize that the man that I was involved with never loved me. He only was interested in controlling me and controlling what my idea of love was. So when you sit with yourself, like I said, and you define it for yourself, you have to look back at all your past relationships and understand that what was acceptable with one person and what was not with the other. Because we do that a lot with our parents, and we do that a lot with how we were raised. So a love that was unacceptable from my parents was the physical abuse, and a love that I knew that I did not deserve, but that my partner convinced me that was love, because I had so much that I had to heal from my past, was physical abuse. So in turn, he said things like, this is something that you made me do because you made me upset. So this starts the cycle going in your own head, and starts it spinning to think, well, first, am I even deserving of love? That's the first thing. Am I even deserving of the love that I keep requiring? And is this really the love that I can only receive? Because this person says that they love me. You know, they're nice to me sometimes, but when things get physical, it's my fault. So is it really love? Is it the love that I want? And so these ideas keep spinning around in your head, and keep spinning around and keep spinning around, until one day you just snap out of it, and you realize that love and physical, mental, spiritual abuse, any of those, they cannot coexist together. Because when you allow the abuse to creep in, and you allow it to overtake your definition of love, that's really where all of the problems start in the first place. So had I not accepted the low vibrational love that I received, I would be in a completely different place mentally, spiritually, and physically right now. But because I am here, I have no problem explaining my situation to help anyone who is either trying to get out, or who is trying to get over the situation that they have endured previously. So one thing that I want to say is love is always coming from a caring, nurturing space. It's never coming from disdain, from shame, or from pain. Those are two things that cannot happen at the same time and be the same energy, because they negate themselves completely. So when you love yourself, and when you start to realize just how many people you allow to disrespect that self-love, you start to accept more and expect more from not only yourself, but from others as well. So when we talk about love, and we talk about being able to define it for ourselves, we have to then rework what it was defined for us previously. So in order to rework the definition of what it was for you previously, you have to go back in your mind. You have to go back to even childhood, because we all have that aunt or that cousin that always made those detrimental jokes. Like I had one that always made fun of my weight, but I was just supposed to accept it just because they were family and they loved me. But long story short, this person never loved me. They were always had this disdain, always had this hate for me, but we keep accepting it as acceptable behavior just because of who they are, their family. So when we start to define love for ourselves, don't be afraid to cut off toxic family members, because there is no reason to try and change them. They are who they are. They show you who they are every time. And this is something that you just have to accept them. They are who they are, and just move on with your life. Because the more you try to rework your brain and try to rework them, the more they're going to keep pulling you back down, and the harder it's going to take for you to escape those ideas again. So we have to sit with ourselves. We have to redefine what love feels like, what it is for us, and what it truly means to be loved. So when we rework our brain and we go back to our childhood and we think about all the things that we endured for the sake of our parents saying that they love us, we have to realize that love comes in many different forms, and it comes in different forms for different relationships. So when we redefine what love is for us, we have to look back at what they were defined as throughout each of these relationships that we've had. So when we go back to our old friends, our old roommates, our old boyfriends, whatever it may be, we have to recognize the love that we desire and the love that we received, and see how there was an imbalance there. So with my love, it always came with care, but emotional neglect and emotional withdrawal, and also physical abuse as well. So we have to understand that, this is what we endured, and this is not what we're going to take anymore. So with that, we have to really not only feel all of the feelings that arise and feelings that come up, but we have to sit with ourselves and understand that at that time, that was our definition. And we are in a new space, we are in a new place mentally and physically, and we can redefine what it means for us, and it's okay for us to move forward. Because so many times when we think back and we try to backtrack and make excuses for receiving love that was everything other than what we required, we try to find ways to excuse the behavior. But the behavior is the behavior, and in no way, in sense or form, is physical abuse ever okay, but we always make excuses for it, if you understand what I'm saying. So my problem was I was allowing someone to define what love was for me, because I never really defined it for myself, because I never really received the love that I knew that I required. And I never had a chance to sit with myself and sit and analyze all of the relationships that I've been in. So I highly recommend that you all take the time to write on a piece of paper, what does love feel like? And you can use the 5 senses and just redefine exactly what love is for you. So love is exactly what the love that we ask for is exactly for what we receive. My tongue is tied right now. So I just want you guys to sit with that and better define the relationships that you've been in, and better organize your mind and organize what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, and figure out where those blurred lines are, where it's acceptable for this person and not this person. So I'm going to leave you guys with that, and I will come back a little bit later. Bye.